Hello, boxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Boxing 396. I'm here today with the Jewish Bulldog, super sensation, Benny Sinakin, amateur sensation, tremendous fighter. How you doing, Benny?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, today was election day, man. I was tempted to write myself in Flavor Flav. Did you go out and vote?
No, not yet. I was going to do that after.
Okay, the election booth is set up here. Talk to me about your journey, man. Last year in the Golden Gloves, you fought at super heavyweight, and less than a year later, under the tutelage and guidance of your father, who we all call Pop, you're now light heavyweight.
Yeah, well, basically, I made my mind up that I want to box.
Right.
And it all started with me working out and then dieting and running every day, and then boxing started just coming naturally. I started being able to pick it up in the ring easily, and I was just picking up the sport better than I ever did because I started dedicating myself.
Mm-hmm. Last year, you fought Damani Rock as a super heavyweight in the Golden Gloves. And looking at you now, you're 178 pounds now?
Yes.
It's unbelievable, man. How were you able to do it?
Like I said before, it's a bunch of, it's always dieting and a bunch of running. Mm-hmm. If I don't run, I ain't gonna lose. If I run, I'm gonna lose weight constantly, and I'm always gonna keep my mind physically in shape. If my mind's not physically in shape, I'm not gonna be physically in shape. So I always gotta run to make sure I know I'm keeping my stamina good and able to do everything correctly.
Okay, and you're quite humble. Before you made it down to light heavyweight, this summer you made a short stop at heavyweight, and you went to Florida and you won the Sugarbird tournament. Talk to me about that experience.
It was a great experience. Me and my dad went down there, Pops, and it was a learning experience. I went down there for the first time to a national tournament. I had to fight for the championship bout. I had to fight the Golden Glove champ of Florida.
Right.
He was a good fighter, but I went down there with a mission, and I came back, and I won. Okay.
The name the Jewish Bulldog, a lot of people don't know. Your mom is from St. Vincent in the Grenadines. Your Pop, who we all call Pop, he's Jewish and he's from Philadelphia. You were born and raised, so you got those two flavor going here. The West Indian flavor and the Jewish flavor. Talk to me about that. And the name the Jewish Bulldog.
I got the Jewish Bulldog because of my fighting style, actually. I'm not scared of nobody, and it doesn't matter who they are, I'm going to get in the ring with them. That's why I got the nickname. But my mom's from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and my dad's from Philly, but my family originates, my dad's side of the family originates from Israel. So.
Okay. So you got both. I hear in St. Vincent, your family's so large due to your grandfather, it's unbelievable. You're probably related to half the island.
Yeah, over there I got a big family. I got 21 aunts and uncles over there, so I got a lot.
And on this side, your father is we all know Pop, he's a boxing historian. He's a veteran.
Yes.
Yes, he's a Vietnam vet.
Vietnam, yes he is.
Talk to me about his home, which we hear is a museum. You grew up loving baseball and boxing.
I grew up loving baseball and boxing, like you stated, but my dad really takes it to a whole nother level with loving sports, period. Mm-hmm. He has plaques everywhere of 150 of the greatest boxers. Then he has 100 of the greatest Jewish boxers. Mm-hmm. And downstairs, he has 150 of the greatest baseball of all time, starting from, I think, 1878. He goes all the way back then.
Man, what's the game plan, Benny? I've been at many of your amateur fights. You fought a super heavyweight. Nobody can question your heart. You went down to heavyweight. You won an open class tournament. You're now at light heavyweight. What's the game plan? Are you going down to middleweight, and when do you plan on going professional?
I'm going to go down as much as my body can go down.
Right.
So as long as I keep my strength, I'm going to keep going down in weight. But just know that 2018 is going to be a very exciting year for me.
2018, we're looking forward.
That's all I got to say. That's going to be a great year.
You know, the last two amateur fights I went to, the Jewish Bulldog chewed up the competition. I mean, you're chewing up the competition.
I want to keep going like that. That's the reason why 2018 is going to be exciting, because I might not be doing it in the amateurs for that much longer.
I don't see you in the amateurs beyond 2018. Is that, how old are you now?
I'm only 20.
You're 20 years old. 2018, you're going to be 21. Right time, I would estimate you will probably turn pro as a middleweight.
Hopefully, that's what the goal is.
Okay, let's play a little word game here. First, I have to ask this question. Who's your favorite fighter?
Joe Frazier.
Man, you can't go wrong. Philadelphia, you heard that? Today is the 6th anniversary of his passing. Smoking Joe Frazier. Why Joe Frazier?
Joe Frazier is the epitome of Philly fighting. Like, when you say Joe Frazier's name, you think of Philly.
Right.
And me being from Philly, that left hook means everything to me. So I kind of just always try to base some of my boxing off of Joe Frazier. So it's just natural.
Watching you, you're just as tenacious as Joe Frazier. I mean, growing up as a kid in Jamaica, and I tell this story, I had to tell his daughter this, I thought Joe Frazier was Jamaican. It wasn't until I came to America that I realized he wasn't, because he lost his title to George Foreman in Jamaica. So we all grew up thinking Joe Frazier was Jamaican. You never know, but you do share a lot with Joe Frazier as far as being tenacious and relentless, and you do have that big left hook. Who else?
Now, if we're talking about my boxing, I like to look at Muhammad Ali with the footwork, and Willie Pep. I love Willie Pep's. He has this fighting style that he can hit you and not get hit.
Right.
But he was right in front of you. He was so great.
I saw the Ali. I was at your last amateur fight. The bolo punch, the shuffle. It was impressive. Let's play a little word game here. Tommy Hearns. First thing comes to mind.
Stand up, tall fighter, hit you with the right hand, you're down.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Great footwork, do whatever he wanted in the ring, fast.
Roberto Duran.
Hands of stone.
Benny Leonard.
Oh, man, he was great. Just think of,
Benny Leonard. Jack Johnson.
First black champion, greatness.
Man, George Foreman.
George Foreman, he was, again, if he hits you, you're going down for the count.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good one, man. What would you like the fans to know about the Jewish Bulldog? I know you, Pop know you, we all know you. What should they know about you? You can look into the camera and tell them something about TJB, the Jewish Bulldog.
My name is Benny Sinakin, and I'm from South Philly. I'm a normal kid, and I have a dream. I want to be champion one day.
Well, folks, there you have it. That's my man TJB. He had that West Indian and Jewish flavor going on. 2018, the Jewish Bulldog. Russell Peltz, you heard that. Lou DiBella, Al Heyman. Somebody needs to sign this gentleman called 2018, the Jewish Bulldog. Will be tuning up the competition. Thank you. Folks, we're here with Pop, the father of the Jewish Bulldog, Benny Sinakin. How you doing, Pop?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man. Talk to me about your son.
He's a great
TJB.
The Jewish Bulldog. He's a great kid, and he's a great person. But he's also a fantastic, fantastic boxer. Like a lot of kids, he was more into sports than academics. Mm-hmm. And in fact, he was an all-city baseball player. He was a catcher, and he was the best in the city. There's over 200 catchers in the public league, and he was all-city. He probably could have gone on to professional baseball. But to tell you the truth, he didn't have an arm. Catcher without an arm is a little bit of a problem. He couldn't throw as hard as you would want from a major league prospect. But I always said he wasn't that good in school, but he's a genius in the ring. And I really think that he is. He's a unique fighter in that he doesn't fight just one style. He has footwork like Ali. He has inside work like Joe Frazier. He has power work like Mike Tyson. And it's amazing. We went down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and he fought the Florida State Golden Gloves champion, who also was the previous year's USA boxing champion of Florida. And everybody thought, you know, this guy was going to send Benny back to Philly. And the other thing, of course, is that fighting in Florida, all Florida judges, all Florida fighters, a few fighters from other places except for the South. There were a few South fighters from down South, and maybe about 7 fighters, 8 fighters from New York and Philly. So in those circumstances, and you're fighting the Golden Glove champion, cruiserweight, which of course is called
heavyweight,
heavyweight in the amateurs, you're not going to get any gifts. But Benny
pulled it out and won a championship.
Won a championship, and the main thing I would tell you is, I've watched him, and he's got something inside that just drives him to excellence, and he's got heart.
Talk to me about one thing, Pop. He fought Damani Rock last year.
Yeah,
at super heavyweight.
Right.
People don't know, but Benny has been able to lose over 100 pounds.
Yep.
Because of you, in your diet plan and your training plan.
That's not really true.
Pop, you're the chef.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what really happened. What really happened is this. Benny wants to be a professional fighter.
Okay.
And he had won the Philly Golden Gloves twice as a heavyweight. His weight got out of control, and he fought as a super heavy against the national champion.
Right.
That was Damani Rock. And it was a rough fight. He shouldn't have been in the ring with somebody that big, because Benny's only 5'10", and Darmani's about 6'7". So it was, you know, a little bit of a mismatch from that perspective. But Benny hung in, got through the fight, and he had come to me last year, and he'd won some other fights. He'd done very, very, very well. And he came to me and he said, "Dad, I want to go pro." And I said, "Listen, I love you, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going pro at this weight. If you want to go pro, you've got to at least get down to light heavyweight."
Okay.
Because 5'10" is a short light heavyweight. Most of your champions are 6'1". Okay. But Benny can handle. He's always been fighting guys bigger than him, and he can handle that height difference, that size difference. But I said, you know, that you have to at least make light heavyweight to have any chance of going pro, because you couldn't get by it. And he said to me, "Well, what do I got to do?" And I said, "Here's what you got to do. You got to make a commitment right now to diet, to eat properly, but to eat not just good, healthy food, but food that will give you a low calorie count, so that you can drop some weight. The other thing you've got to do is you've got to make a commitment to running, and you've got to run every day."
Okay.
I said, "I know that sounds crazy," because he hated to run. That's why he was a super heavyweight, you know what I mean? So I told him that's the other thing, is you got to run. And the third thing is, on both of those commitments, you can't make it for a month. You can't make it for a year. You have to make those commitments based on the rest of your life in the sport of boxing. As long as you're alive, and as long as you're involved in boxing, you have to be committed to that type of a lifestyle." And he said to me, "I'll do it, Dad." And he did it. And everybody, you know, I mean, that type of a weight loss is pretty spectacular.
It is, Pop. Benny has a six-pack now.
Not to mention the muscular development that we have. So I increased all of the workout with his trainer, Candy. And, you know, what happened was he made the commitment, he lost the weight, and now he's light heavyweight. And I'll tell you the truth. I don't think there's going to be many light heavyweights that can even get in the ring with Benny.
Okay.
He's that good. He's that good. He's an all-around fighter. He's that good. He has a great team behind him. He has his coach is Candyman Williams. They communicate beautifully. Candyman's instructions in the corner during a fight are absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Not only that, but with a trainer, you've got to match the trainer to the fighter personality-wise. A trainer who screams and yells with Benny is not going to motivate him properly. A trainer who's logical, sensible, calm, talks to Benny. Benny listens. Benny's intellectual. He listens to what they say. And Candyman is that type of a trainer. He's in the corner communicating with Benny. He watches Benny. He thinks Benny's unbelievable. He loves his skills. But what happens is your trainer can see, oh, there's an opening for a right.
Right.
And you could throw a straight right after this guy jabs and blah, 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 and he's out of there, okay? Or you're going to land. And Candy will calmly say to him, look, Benny, you're doing great. Here's the only thing. There's an opening for a left hook, or there's an opening for a right cross. But you have to do it at this point in time. Well, a lot of fighters can't figure out what this point in time is when you're in the heat of the battle. But I want to tell you something. Benny can figure out when the right time is in the middle of the heat of the battle. And part of the reason that he's so good is because he doesn't have just one style. He's been schooled in the art of boxing, the science of boxing.
Now you're right, Pop. I see our director over there giving me the wrap-up signal.
Okay.
What do you want the audience to know about your son? TJB, the Jewish Bulldog, who's been eating up the competition.
Well, I'm the one who gave him his nickname of Bulldog. And the reason I gave him the nickname of Bulldog, because if you saw, he's a young, handsome kid, clean cut, and everybody was giving him the name of the baby-faced assassin. And he was. But I watched the type of fighting that he does, the style of his boxing, and he never ever gives up. He's tough as nails, and he knows what tools to use and when to use them. And because of those characteristics, I said his name has to be the Bulldog, because Bulldog is a dog.
Right.
But Bulldog is also a word in the English language describing somebody who never gives up, and that's Benny.
Okay, there you have it. From Pop, the father of TJB, the Jewish Bulldog. He's going to be eating up the competition next year, 2018. Thank you for watching Boxing 396.